Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Pitch Strike Chronicles. I'm Uncle Taz. I am here with Donald and Rubinho, and the Yankees are coming off back-to-back wins against the Royals, a team that we met in the postseason last year. So we actually had a formidable opponent, I'll say that. And we kind of held our ground. And specifically with last night's game, I think that was the most complete game that the Yankees have had. We had the offense, defense, pitching, the bullpen. Everything was clicking yesterday. And it was a really feel-good win for the score that it was. And I want to really give credit to Devin Williams. His first clean outing, 1, 2, 3. He looked really good. The airbender was bending. And it seems like if this is the kind of confidence that he can have now going forward, I think he's finally kind of embraced his role, and the pressure is gone. He's just doing his thing.
We know, but that's how he starts every season, though. So this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. Yep. If you look at his numbers in the early set of the season, they're not good. He's got a very bloated ERA, especially for a bullpen pitcher in the months of March and April. So you can only expect better from this point on, but it wouldn't surprise me if his next outing is rough, and that's just how he pitches in the first month. He's going to be better when the weather warms up, which is a bit concerning when we get to October, but we'll worry about that when the time to worry about that is, if we have to worry about it. But no, he looked really good yesterday. It was a good sign. Max Fried looked really good. Luke Weaver continues to be outstanding, and I'm going to completely bypass all that and give a shout out to the Martian, because without him, the Yankees don't win that game. So my favorite Martian, my dog, Jason Dominguez, he's been better in left field lately. He didn't get pulled because of defense. He lost his contact lenses apparently. But he's been hitting. He had 3 hits yesterday, bases clearing double, clutch hit from the right side of the plate, which has kind of been his weakness a little bit. Brilliant game from him, and he won us that game. So I want to give him a shout out. He was phenomenal last night, and I was happy to see it, because he's finally – you're starting to see, like, in the early stages, he's gone through the highs and the lows already, because he started off hot, struggled, and he's heating up again. Plus, the defense is steadily getting better. So far, so good a couple of weeks into the season for the Martian himself.
Yeah, it's bad hosting by me not to lead off with Dominguez. Shame. He from both sides of the plate, too, he was effective yesterday. Donald, what was your take?
I thought Dominguez couldn't defend.
Yep.
I thought he couldn't defend. Hello?
Can't play left field at all.
Where's all those people that are like, he can't defend this guy's ass? You gotta send it down. Put him back in center field. Guy's playing absolutely fine in left field. In fact, he played better than fine. You seen some of the jumps on the ball he's been making over in left field. He made some tremendous plays the last 2 games. Tremendous plays in left field. That's why you have to show patience. So, I mean, we're going to rewind to when we were getting hit by a lot of comments going, we're in start of spring training, when he dropped that ball. We were getting a whole lot of comments, and that's why we all said consistently, you've got to be patient with this guy. Let's give him a chance. Spring's the perfect time for him to have these problems, because at least he will learn from it by the time we get to the regular season. And he has, and he did, and he's been great. So the narrative that he can't defend is nonsense. He can defend absolutely fine. I really hope that him being benched is purely because he lost the contact lenses, and it is because I don't want to keep doing this thing where he gets taken out after 7 innings. That is this is insanely stupid. The guy can play absolutely fine in left field, and he's been better than fine. If you want to get Grisham involved, be my guest. Grisham is the man. I fucking love Grisham, but not at the expense of Dominguez. So you know what? Like, Bellinger should watch his back. He's been struggling. Dominguez has been balling. So I do want to see more at bats for Grish, though. Grish is looking great. Did you see the play he made in deep center field?
Yeah.
Or when we went 4-2 up, Max Fried left a hanger. Guy absolutely nailed it, and that was looking like it was going in the gap, and that could have been a problem. But Grisham made an amazing play, and he was only on the field for about 8 seconds at that point. He's locked into the game, so that's a good sign too. Duran says Grisham is seriously making a case for more game time, Donald. There is no question about that, brother. Absolutely is. His numbers are fantastic. He's raking. And I want to see, I want to ride the hot streak. I've always been a proponent that you ride that hot streak. I think Bellinger is going to be good this year, but he has missed time due to the foot poisoning, the bad back. He's missed games. He's kind of a slow starter right now. So why not just take advantage of the Grisham hot streak? And that's what I would do right now. And if he salute to him, if you guys haven't already done so, sub up to his channel. Grisham makes plays look easy and smooth. He certainly does. Salute to Anna. Anna's got Grisham has already earned $5 million. There's no question about it. That is
statistically sure.
Absolute steal. So, want to say a big salute to everyone that's in the chat this morning. Give yourselves a pat on the back for being here bright and early watching the Pinstripe Chronicles. And if you could do us a big solid and hit the like button. But no, I'm very happy for Dominguez. That guy is proving a lot of people wrong, not just defensively, but offensively. I was very impressed with the fact that from the other side of the plate, where he's not necessarily so strong, caught up with a high 90s fastball and deposited it for the game-winning double. So says everything about Jason, man. He's, as Rob says, his favorite Martian.
Yeah, no, it's Dominguez has been very. This is probably his best series collectively. His defense has been fine. I don't know everybody's. We knew it was going to be a little bit of a learning curve. We accepted it, but it was very shocking to see him come out of the game yesterday. And I actually do believe that it was a contact lens. I mean, that's a hard excuse to just come up with off the top of your head. I can think of worse excuses to come out of Boone's mouth. And you saw the way the helmet just kind of went sideways on him. So everything did make sense. If that with that being the reason to come out, and Grisham didn't waste any time of making his impact known.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, I think it's the second pitch of him in the game, and he's running down, like a 5-year-old after an ice cream truck. He was just going, but
he was hauling ass.
And that's what made the game yesterday so much fun, because it really was a full collective effort. Max Fried, this is, these are the outings we need from him. 6 2/3. I know he really wanted to get that last out. But they just started really taking a little more patience at the plate and making him work a little more, and before completely imploding. He had Leiter warming up, and then he had Weaver warming up. And I thought Boone once again pulls the right trigger in the bullpen and brings in Weaver, who's been outstanding in his role. You need to save an inning and just get out of a jam. Weaver seems to be that guy that's going to come in and just shut it down. He's absolutely amazing to watch. But it also goes back to that inning with the offense. Their patience at the plate in the fifth. Starting with Volpe. Waiting, not forcing the at bat to overtake them. They're overtaking the at bats, which was a big strength last year. Working counts, getting the pitch counts up, wearing the pitches down, waiting for that one mistake pitch, and Dominguez hit that mistake pitch and cleared the bases. But Wells's walk with the bases loaded was also another key at bat that really kept the line moving. And they weren't trying to swing for the fences to get, they weren't going for the grand slam. They weren't going for a 3-run home run. They were just taking the at bats that were given to them. And that's a very positive thing to look to going forward.
They were getting not smacked around, but they were getting blown through for the first 5. So it was nice to see a change of approach. Doran brought up a good point earlier about Grisham. It was more about the money that he was being owed for a fourth outfielder, because Frank is wondering, why everyone likes Grisham now. I don't know. Maybe it's because he's producing. Why wouldn't we like that? But we're not allowed to like a player, apparently. Messing with you, Frank. But no, I think it was more of an issue like he's getting $5 million from a team that's penny pinching. Do you need to pay $5 million for a fourth outfielder when you could have gone a lot cheaper? And that was the point that I think a lot of people were making this offseason. But Grisham's kind of shut every single person up, myself included, because I was like, why are they keeping him if they barely played him last year? And why are you going to keep him as a fourth outfielder now when you're penny pinching? You can't even afford a right-handed bat now because you're giving $5 million to a backup outfielder. That was my skepticism in the offseason. So, but now he's shutting me up, and I'm happy he is. I want to be silenced when I have a doubt about something, and that's what Trent Grisham is doing so far. Ken, I don't think we should talk about bringing him back because we seem to have done this every year for the last 3. For Harrison Bader, Alex Verdugo, and now Trent Grisham. I think we need to wait and see how the year goes before we start talking about extending players or keeping guys around. But we just got to enjoy it while it's here because baseball is a game where Grisham can look like Barry Bonds one week, and then next week he can be 0 for 15 for all we know. So we have to enjoy the hot, like you say, Donald, you have to ride the hot streak. And so far, Boone has done that. He's playing Grisham pretty much every single game, and he's bringing him in when he needs to. Obviously, yesterday, we all thought they're doing it again. How can you take Dominguez out after he just won you the game? But you saw how he smacked his own helmet with the bat. The contact story was pretty believable. So, I'm hoping though, like in the future, he doesn't pull him because he did it 2 nights ago, I think. And Dominguez has been very productive. So I want to see him get rewarded finally and stay in the whole game. But yesterday actually made sense why he was pulled. And it ended up being a good thing because I don't think Bellinger makes that play in center field that Grisham makes. And Bellinger's great. Bellinger's a great center fielder, but Grisham is a Gold Glover. He's known for his defense, and he's got some pop from the left side. That's really about it. But he's doing a great job so far this year, so you have to ride the hot streak. It's just kind of unfortunate that everyone is almost at the same position. Like you would be like, okay, DH Bellinger and keep Grisham out there, or put Bellinger at first, but then you'd be like, well, where's Goldschmidt going to play? Then where's Rice going to play? Like these guys only play so many positions. I really wish Ben Rice knew how to play third because that would solve everything. I really wish he knew how to play third base, but there's just so much going around. A lot of guys are hot at the same time. You can't get everyone in the lineup based off of positioning. So you got to make do with what you have. And Aaron Boone, so far, to his credit, has done a really good job of getting guys playing time.
Yeah, I've got 1,000 reasons to like Trent Grisham, which is his OPS. 1,100 OPS right now and a 343 batting average. That's why I kind of like Trent Grisham, along with his excellent defense. And you're right, Bellinger wouldn't have made that play because that was only Gold Glove, like Super Gold Glove. Platinum Glove players can make that kind of play because it was absolutely a rocket. I think we should get into the chat because we've got got lots of good comments here. Let's start with Anna saying Grisham wears no batting gloves like Posada. He also has his pinky on the barrel of the very bottom of the bat too, which you don't see that often, especially in the modern era. It is kind of like an old school throwback. And he's driving the ball right now. FJ says he couldn't stop laughing when Dominguez hit himself in the head. You know what? I give him credit for it because that shows how fast that pitch was and how quick his reaction time was. So quick that he hit himself over the head with it. But his reaction time to catch up with that ball and line it shows just how good he is at the expense of his own helmet and his contacts, apparently. Grisham would be a starter for almost every team in the league. You're 100% right that he is. I mean, he's an everyday player until last year. And I think Aaron Boone knew he made a mistake last year by not giving him enough playing time. He kind of alluded to that over this past off season and in spring, that he needed to get more game time for Grish, and he's done it to his credit. I'd actually play him more if I'm being perfectly honest, because the guy's red hot right now. Grisham shut Regil up, he's admitted. John the Beagle Dad is in the chat. Salute to you. He's excited about getting pups next month or something like that, I believe. Let's talk about some Weaver. Dreamweaver. Acevedo. Weaver will come out over at $7 million a year. I love it over 3. He's going to get paid. Jerome says Weaver is going to get maybe 48 over 4. He's going to get paid. The Dreamweaver is incredible right now. He's been the most impressive pitcher of all our pitchers, including Max Fried, even though he's 3-0 and he looks great. For me, I'm been most impressed by the Dreamweaver, because Dreamweaver has been coming in some really tough spots. He's asked to come in some of the most difficult spots, and he makes it look so easy. He was in a tough spot yesterday, and he made it look so easy. He's got
a new swagger about him, too.
Yeah, he's just fantastic, man. Like, get him paid. Get him paid. Absolutely.
They should think about getting him done before anybody else, really, because the other day we got a comment, like, wasn't it like, oh, they should start blaming Matt Blake? And I'm like, Luke Weaver is kind of like a perfect example of what Matt Blake has been able to do. I mean, I know we don't like him, but look at what he was able to do for Clay Holmes. He got Clay Holmes a big contract, basically. He turned him into a starter who's actually been pretty good so far this year, believe it or not. So, I mean, Matt Blake has kind of worked wonders with some of these arms. When we got Luke Weaver, did any of us imagine, do not lie to me, did any of us imagine that he would be this guy for us right now? We were like, who? This guy's got like a 6 ERA. Go, Cashman's dumpster diving again. And then they brought him back last year. We're like, okay, it's a perfectly fine depth signing for $2 million. With an option. If he's good, you keep him. If he's bad, you let him go. He has been better. He has been an absolute steal for that contract they gave him. 2 years, basically $5 million for the production he's given you. He's worth 5 times as much right now. So absolutely, you think about keeping him around. You should keep him around. He's very well liked in the clubhouse. The fan base adores him. He's probably the funniest dude I've seen on this team, and you want to keep that around. He's a good guy for the clubhouse, good guy for the team. He gets the job done, and it just looks like he's having fun playing the game. You want those players around, and if he's commanding like 7 or 8 million, like Acevedo's saying, you sign up for that, right? I think you try to get that done ASAP, but especially now with the bullpen market, pitchers get paid. He's going to get a big payday, and the Yankees need to be on top of that because the strength of their team every year seems to be their bullpen. They have to keep him around. He's been outstanding. He is a perfect Matt Blake experiment gone right, and you want to see more of that, but he is a perfect example of it because no one knew who he was. No one wanted him, and now that he's doing what he's doing, we're like, boy, this is why we're not GM. This is why we're behind the camera talking about the team. This is why some people on Twitter aren't GMs, thank God, because they would have traded him immediately. So, yeah, I love what he's doing. I would extend him immediately. Keep him around.
What about this suggestion, CT Cards? It's early enough in the season to try Rice at third. A little bit of chatter in chat about possibility of trying Ben Rice over at third base. I mean, in fairness, when Stanton comes back, it's going to be very difficult to take Ben Rice out of this lineup. Ben Rice is doing ridiculous things right now. His baseball savant page is bananas. It's better than Juan Soto's by a distance. I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying at the moment, his baseball savant page is just bananas. It's through the roof. It's like in the 100th percentile in a bunch of areas. Rob, do you want to bring it up and share it? Because it's something to behold. I know we're only a couple weeks in, but we got to take advantage of this while we can, because this is pretty special. And it does make it an interesting discussion because we have to have Stanton's bat in the lineup. He is Big G. He's a Hall of Famer. But what are you going to do with Ben Rice? Because he needs to be in the lineup too. And he's been great leading off too. So that it does lead an interesting discussion. But Do you really? I don't know. It's really risky, though.
I don't take that risk.
No.
Me personally, I don't see him really fitting at third base. Can he do it? Probably. I mean, he seems like a very, capable ball player, but not at this stage. You already have Cabrera and Peraza sharing that role. DJ on the way back. You don't know what's going on. So the third base is pretty much taken care of. And I understand we want to try to get Rice in there, but it's not like Stanton's coming back next week. So I think that's kind of a narrative that could be put on the shelf till later on, as the season goes on, because it's really not. It's not even an issue right now, and it's far from being an issue. You still got 2 months to figure this all out, and it always works itself out one way or another.
That's a good point. That's true. Elliott's not having any of that. Rice can't be established. I wouldn't go there. That's pretty fair. And to be fair, I think if the Yankees thought he was a third baseman, they would have tried him out in spring, which is an ideal opportunity to do that. They didn't do it, so I don't think that's an option.
Are you seeing that on the screen now?
I am just the top bit, but yeah.
Okay. So I think I could scroll through it now.
Oh yeah, nice one.
Baseball
Perfect.
savants being annoying today.
Look at this.
That is elite level stuff right there. It doesn't mean he's better than Judge and Soto, but like those are the types of players that you see with the Reds that you're seeing right now from Ben Rice.
Man,
that's glorious, bro.
Yep.
Look at that.
It's impressive.
Everything in the 90s. It's all in the 99th percentile, right?
Yeah.
With the exception of whiff and K percentage, which is fine because it's not that bad, actually. It's like just a smidge under the middle. Everything else is above average to well above average, like elite status.
Like elite. Am I right that he worked with Aaron Judge's batting coach?
Yeah. I heard the same thing.
Yeah, everyone thought it was Spencer Jones, but it turned out it was Ben Rice, I believe.
Well, that batting coach is some sort of fucking maestro. Like, give him a fucking contract, bro. He's fucking brilliant.
What was his name? Teacher Man or something? I don't know. Teacher something.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they should consider keeping him around.
Fucking Sensei. That's what his name is. Fucking Sensei. But no, in all seriousness, Ben Rice has been phenomenal. His bat speed is ridiculous now. And he's on top of everything. It's been mind-blowing to watch, and it's created a really good problem. I never, ever imagined that we'd be in this spot. I thought when Stanton went down, we were cooked. I didn't think that we had nearly enough power. But Ben Rice has come out of nowhere and is on a ridiculous trajectory right now. And you got to play him every day. You do. You got to find a way to play him every day. And it's a good problem to have because I'm actually been amazed by our offense in many ways. Goldschmidt is on an excellent run. He's been brilliant, playing really good defense as well at first. But he's been by far the most consistent bat after Aaron Judge in the lineup. He's been great. Then you got Ben Rice, who's been great. Dominguez has looked really good. Been very happy with Dominguez. I've been very, very happy with Grisham, obviously. He's been really decent. And Austin Wells, I think he's going to start getting hot very, very soon. I think he's going to have an all-star year. Jazz Chisholm, we know who he is. He's not a guy that's going to hit for average. He's going to strike out a ton, but he's also going to hit a ton of home runs too. So he's pretty much right in line with that as well. I've been pretty happy with our offense. Volpe has surprised me. I wasn't expecting him to be this good, frankly. His defense has been rock solid, if not better. And offensively, he's better than I would have expected. So, to be honest, our offense has been fine. It's you know what, and you have to think, damn, what if Garrett Cole didn't go down? What if Luis Gil didn't go down? That Brian Cashman might have actually put together a very, very good team. Because now you're seeing it all come together, and you're thinking, damn, Imagine if we had the pitching. Imagine if we had the starting pitching. This team would be so much better.
I mean, we were running that high before spring started. Before all the injuries started creeping up, we were feeling pretty good about the adjustments that the Yankees made in the offseason. After Soto went to Queens, instead of hitting the panic button, like they were very reactionary and made moves that really did significantly improve areas of need, not so much going after the headline. So this is kind of everything coming into fruition on Cashman's behalf, but it's really you're starting to see that they're more feeding off each other. They're starting to become more of a collective unit. They're trusting in each other. They're trusting the guy behind them in the lineup. So if they do have to get if they take their walk, they don't have to worry about any momentum being stopped. They don't have to swing for the home run. And when you're in that position, that's when you're going to start winning more games than you lose them.
It's also a young lineup. You got to remember that Rice is essentially a rookie. Dominguez is a rookie. Volpe's in year 3 and Wells is in year 2. So it's still a very young lineup. Outside of Judge, Goldschmidt, Bellinger, and I guess Jazz, there's a lot of youth there. So you have to be patient with it. And so far, it's definitely exceeded expectations, I think. It hasn't been perfect because, again, you're looking at 2 of our better hitters have struggled out of the gate. I mean, can you say that Jazz has struggled? Sure, but he also tied for the league leading home runs. So it's like
I think that's who he is, bro.
You get the good with the bad there. Is it Joey Gallo-esque, maybe minus the high on base, but there's the power with the strikeouts. But you're going to take that because we need power from anywhere we can get it right now. So
the only bat I'm disappointed in is Bellinger.
Yeah, he's the only one. Like if Bellinger starts to hit the way he's supposed to, which he will, because let's not forget he was hitting when the season first started. That first series, he was hitting. So it's not like all of a sudden the Monstars came and sapped his talent. He's got it. It's still there. He just needs to. He's probably dealing with that back stuff, and it being cold doesn't help when you have a bad back. Plus, he had food poisoning. He's probably still dealing with it. So I think in another couple of weeks he'll be fine. Again, if you struggle in April, it doesn't mean your season is completely derailed. Now, how many times did Mark Teixeira look like the worst hitter in baseball in April? And then from May on, he was untouchable. So,
dude, at the end of April, we were talking about what's going on with Aaron Judge. And then Aaron Judge went on to have the greatest
58 home runs. Well, some of us were. I remember saying in the chat, I think it was to Lynn, actually. I said, I do not want to hear a single thing about Aaron Judge. We're not worrying about him. Yeah. And so it's like, if I know we're going to bring it up, it's like the people that are complaining about Soto. It's 16 games into the season. And they're like, if that's what you're going to do, maybe you shouldn't have signed with us. You should have stayed in the Bronx. And it's 16 fucking games, you idiots. So, you know what? But I'm really happy to see that the Queens faithful, the Grimace worshipers, the purple blob followers, those Flushing folk over there, 16 games into the season, they're the ones that are starting to derail. Like that bald jackass that works for WFAN. Now he's starting to get mad about it.
Here we go.
He's mad. They're mad. They're so mad. And yet John Boy's evil twin wants to tell us that Yankees fans are coping. We're just laughing at you. We didn't bring up Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. Juan Soto brought up Aaron Judge. It wasn't Aaron Judge that brought up Juan Soto. The effect goes both ways here. Soto affected Judge. Judge affected Soto. Soto just said one thing that he's not wrong about. They're pitching me differently. He's right. They are. Pete Alonso is a great hitter. He's not Aaron Judge, though. And yet, all Soto says is one thing. If you miss him so much, you should go back. Go shut up. You have one of the best players in the sports history at this point, and you're going to get mad because this first 2 weeks he's not Babe Ruth. He started off kind of slow last year, too. He had 1 home run through the first, I think 8 games or something like that. And none of us were like, oh, maybe they shouldn't have made the trade. His numbers were not through the roof. He's doing exactly what he does every single year. He gets on base, and then once they start making mistakes, and they will start making mistakes to Juan Soto because that's the player he is going to make pitchers pay for it. So Mets fans, come off the ledge. He's going to be fine. You're going to be fine. However, I am very much enjoying they're turning on him. They turned on him after a snap of a finger. For months, we had to listen to them say, He chose us. He chose us. And then now that we're firing back, it's like, oh, you just can't get us out of your mouth. No, he brought up the Yankees. So John Boy's evil
He brings
twin.
up the Yankees a lot.
He does. He sure does.
Yeah.
So that's why we're just laughing back at you. If you can dish it out, you have to be able to take it. But now that we're the ones dishing it out, the sensitive folk over in Flushing can't take it anymore. So I'm enjoying it because yesterday he homered, and now they're like, see, oh, he's so good. 24 hours ago, they were ready to send him back to the Bronx. We will take him. You want to get rid of him? Give him back.
In the Mac, yeah.
You'll see how much you miss him, you fools. We're 2 weeks into the season, and you're complaining about Juan Soto's numbers when he's done nothing wrong. This is why Sal Licata deserves nothing good in life. This is the guy that was dancing for Juan.
To be honest,
Soto.
I go as far. Forget Sal Licata. This is where the Mets don't deserve anything good in life, bro.
Good point.
They got Juan freaking Soto, and they're complaining. They're miserable. They're a miserable fan base because they're like they just. I think they revel in being miserable. I think they're used to being awful. They don't know. They can't handle the fact that they're pretty good now because they're so used to being awful, and they just want to complain all the time because that's what they're doing at the moment. But Rob's got the perfect segue. Let's talk about this Juan Soto thing. I never want to talk about him again, but he keeps bringing the Yankees up. It's now the topic of conversation. So we're going to do it. So I can't believe I'm saying this because I am one of Juan Soto's biggest fans. I haven't thought about him at all over the last couple of weeks. I really haven't. I just haven't. I've been thinking more about Tucker. Thinking, I really hope he doesn't extend his deal with the Cubs because I'd love to myself some Tucker. That's what
Tucker's
I'm more
not making
interested
it
in.
easy for the record. Tucker's
I'm
making it
more
very hard for
interested in that.
negotiation.
I'm not really interested in what Soto's doing. I'll go on the box score. I'll check the box score. That's it. I'm really not that interested. In fact, I've done it maybe twice this season. I just don't really care. But he keeps bringing the Yankees up. In fact, he seems to bring them up maybe like once every 72 hours. He brings the Yankees up. He's bringing the Yankees up a lot. And this really doesn't help the Mets because the Mets think that they're Mr. Big Boy. They're the big boy team. But the big boy team has the big boy player, and the big boy player is thinking about the other freaking team because he keeps thinking about us, bro. So let's like end that debate right now. Like the Mets can't handle being in a good spot, and they are in a good spot. And credit to them, they've got a really good team. They've got a great manager. I really appreciate their owner. I wish Hal Steinbrenner would channel that owner a little bit more. In fact, a lot more. So there's a lot of things that I really respect about them. But what I don't respect about them is their fan base. They keep chirping. They keep talking. They just can't handle the fact that they're in this position. The Sotos keep talking about the Yankees. They don't know what to do about it. And they're very upset about it. I mean, in fairness, Soto, there's nothing Soto can do to pay back that $800 million. He needs to, I mean, to be honest, that's such an absurd contract. It's put a huge target on his back. That man needs to bat 400 and hit 45 home runs and win a championship this year for, even to repay that to some extent. That's how much that fucking contract is. It's a huge contract. So there's already unrealistic expectations on him in the first place. 1. 2, he is right. He is getting pitched differently. So he's not saying anything different. Think about Juan Soto is he's incredibly honest. And I don't know about if MLB fans can deal with the fact he's so honest. Right? And it goes for us too. Because he was so honest that after the final out of the World Series, he switched his cap from Yankee cap to frickin' to just being a free agent. And he's like, oh yeah, every team has a chance. So he made no bones about the fact he was going to go to the highest bidder, right? And then when this whole thing about the family stuff came in there, he was being perfectly honest about that. He was. I think his family really pushed for him to go to the Mets, right? I think he's being perfectly honest about that. Juan Soto is a very honest dude, right? And it's certainly a little different because 90% of sportsmen – rare exceptions like Aaron Judge aside, a lot of them have different like motivations and maybe keep things close to their chest, or maybe they don't, or maybe they're not being completely honest. Juan Soto is 100% honest, whether you like him or not. And so he is spot on. So credit to him for acing that Aaron Judge is the best hitter in baseball, which he is. And B, he is getting pitched differently. So Juan Soto is saying nothing that's wrong, right? But it is a little boring that he keeps talking about the Yankees. Like, dude, like, you had the chance. We gave you $760 million on a plate to play beside the best hitter in baseball. And you could have put yourself in Monument Park. You would have had your number retired. You had that opportunity. You passed on it because your mom wanted to get a personal clothes designer and you wanted a free suite in Queens. So that's what you chose. So now you just have to suck it up for the next 15 years. You made that decision. Quit talking about the Yankees, because as your biggest fan, I stopped fucking thinking about you, bro. So stop thinking about us. Right?
No, I gave this warning to the Met fans once all the frustration died out. Right? Welcome to the major leagues. You are not the you're not the little engine that could anymore. You have new ownership that's got money to spend, and he spends it. You wanted the richest contract in sports. This is what you asked for. You wanted to have this guy. You wanted to be able to push your chest out. Just because the first couple of weeks is not going exactly how you envisioned it, doesn't mean that the rest of the season is going to be shit. This is what happens when you actually when you have a major league team, right? Welcome to the Yankee land, because we're the same way with players when they go in a slump.
Exactly.
This is how baseball is. There's going to be ups and downs, And the other thing is, Judge was asked about it, and his response was how you respond to the New York media. Brilliant. I don't want to get involved with all this back and forth. He's got a phenomenal hitter behind him. He'll get his pitches. End of story.
Yeah. His answer was probably better than Soto's. And to be fair, like, Soto was asked a question, and like Donald was saying, because I think Spencer just brought up in the chat, like, he did nothing wrong. He was asked a question. He answered the question. It's just that Mets fans don't like hearing I had the best hitter in baseball. It's like, well, what about Pete? But you know what? For 2-3 months, all they kept telling us was that he don't need Judge. He's got Vientos. He's got Alonso. He's got Lindor. He didn't
even want Pete, bro. I'm sorry.
They didn't even want him back.
They're like, we don't need him.
We got Soto. We don't need him. I'm glad they bet you they're freaking happy they re-signed him, because they thought they were getting Vladdy. So you know what? Look, again, 16, 17 games into the season, you're worried about Juan Soto's stat sheet, when if you just did a little tiny bit of research, you would see last year kind of a similar start for him. And yet he finished with a career year. Maybe, just maybe, what's happening on April 15th and 16th is not the same thing that's going to be happening on September 15th and 16th. There is a lot of baseball left to play. It is a very long season. However, as much I will defend Juan Soto still, because he's a phenomenal baseball player, and I will respect a phenomenal baseball player, but I will not respect the New York Mets fans. No. Fuck them. They want to they want to react like that to a player that they were screaming about getting and trying to laugh at us every 2 seconds. And now 16 games in, you're yapping about how he should shut his mouth if he misses him so much. We're the ones that are coping. No, sorry, Mr. John Boy's evil twin. We're the ones laughing at you. We're laughing at you because you guys are going nuts. I've seen a lot of Mets fans on podcasts and WFAN screaming about it. They're mad that he's speaking his mind. They can't handle it. But it's just like, if you wanted the player, this is who he is. You got him for 15 years. Get used to it. So,
right. He's a
I would have been
player, man.
more than happy if he chose to come back.
Very honest player. Very honest player. And I don't know if the Mets fans can handle it. But Tats, you're so right to bring up Aaron Judge's comments. Let's go back to Aaron Judge's comments, because Aaron Judge was just handled that better than anybody. He handled it
was a
better.
very Jeter-esque response.
It was. He handled it better than Soto did. He handled it better than the New York media has. I give him a ton of credit. He just said succinctly, I'm not going to go back and forth with this. He's got one of the best hitters in the game behind him in Alonso.
And it's
Boom.
Mic
The whole
drop. Story is nothing. It's one because it's New York. If this was a comment being made in a if it was like the Dodgers and the Angels, it's not getting the attention that it is. It's because it's the two New York teams, and the fan bases, for the most part, just can't stand each other. So yeah, there's going to be this vitriol back and forth.
But there's no vitriol coming from us, though.
No. We just kind of we're enjoying it.
We're just focusing on our situation. We've got 99 problems, and the Mets ain't one.
Exactly.
Yep.
What did John Cena say in his first heel promo? You make this so easy. Whenever Mets fans start to go crazy, I don't pay them any mind until they start attacking us. It's like, okay, now it's fair game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just laughing at them because their reaction, how many times do I have to say it? 2 weeks into the fucking season. We're not even a month in, and this is how you're going to react when his numbers actually aren't that bad. his numbers are not that bad. But, he doesn't have 10 home runs. He's not leading the league in homers, but the walk merchant, Sal Licata, is drawing a hell of a lot of walks, and yet, you get what you paid for. What you're paying for is a very high on base, very productive player that you want in your lineup, and that's exactly what Juan Soto has been. It's not his fault he's not going to hit a pitch that's 15 feet out of the zone. Why would you pitch to him? But now teams are going to be like, shit, we kind of have to because Pete Alonso's hitting home runs left and right. All of a sudden, Juan Soto is going to get pitches to hit. 2 games in a row now, he's homered. Magical, right? How baseball works sometimes. Like, I don't get it. This is why I don't want to react to early season stats. As happy as I am about guys like Grisham and Rice and even Dominguez and stuff like that, I'm like, does it mean it's sustainable? So enjoy it while it's here because a cold streak is probably coming. It's not because they're bad. It's just because that's how baseball is. So for Juan Soto and his slow start, just deal with it now because for the next 4 or 5 months, he's going to be unbelievably good. So
he didn't really have a slump last year for the Yankees. He didn't slump.
No, he didn't.
Really?
Like his first, I'm saying, like, statistically, if you look at his numbers for the first 15 games or so, he only had a couple of homers for us. He wasn't killing the crap out of the ball. But when Judge started to heat up, so did Soto. It was almost like, geez, yeah, 2 great players heating up at the same time is going to mean good things. Remember that San Francisco series last year? So magically, when 2 good hitters start to hit again.
First month of the season, it was Soto that was kind of the best player, although he wasn't hitting as many home runs. He was having a great month.
Judge was quiet. Stats weren't there, right? But now,
then the rest of the way, it was just the 2 of them having kind of a Mantle Maris kind of season, and it was fireworks. It really was. The thing about Soto is he doesn't really slump, and this is not really a slump. He's batting 270. He's on base on a 40+% clip. He's pretty much right in line with his numbers. The RBIs and the homers aren't quite there yet, but it's starting to pick up now. And it's going to pick up, and he's going to have an amazing year. He's going to bat and have 40+ home runs. He will. Absolutely don't doubt that for a minute. I absolutely adore the player. I absolutely do. And I genuinely think the Mets have a better team than the Yankees do overall. But it just shows that us as a fan base, we don't really think about them. You know what? I really don't. I haven't thought about Soto that much. I've been thinking about, what do we do when now that Stanton might be possibly coming back soon? What do we do about Ben Rice? What do we do with Bellinger next year? Is Tucker going to extend a contract? Those are the kind of things that I'm thinking about right now. I'm thinking about the trade deadline. Soto, after he made his decision, and I had the entire spring being upset about it, and I was upset the entire spring, ruined my entire spring. I'm not going to lie about it. I ain't going to front. But once the season started, I just kind of moved on because you kind of have to. You don't have any choice in the matter.
Yeah,
I'd advise the same with the Mets. Move the fuck on from the Yankees because we don't give a shit about you. We really don't.
All right. Soto had 3 home runs last year by April 16th. How many home runs does he have this year? Let me check for you. I'm sure it's the same. Oh, it's 3. So why don't we chill? Because he's still doing exactly what he was doing at the start of last year. He had a few more RBIs, I believe, but that's because even with Judge's slump, would rather pitch. You have to pick your poison with the 2 of them.
Yeah.
Alonso is great. He's not Judge, that which we can all agree on.
Oh, yeah.
But Soto was a little bit more productive with us last year, but same amount of home runs. The average was maybe up a little bit, but everything else was right in line with what he's doing right now. So, again, what are they complaining about? That's why I'm laughing so much. I'm like, all you had to do is just go back on Fangraphs and look what I just took me 16 seconds to pull that up. Like, if they just do that, they would have known, like, maybe we are overreacting a little bit, but it's because he brought up the Yankees and he said what he said about Aaron Judge. They don't know they don't know how to handle it. But Judge gave praise back to Alonso. So now what you're seeing a lot of Mets fans doing is, you know what? I kind of respect that guy. Now they're all like, he's right. Aaron Judge didn't. Now even Mets fans like, he's right. And we don't have an Aaron Judge when your player like 5 years ago had his name on the back of his jersey saying he was greater than Judge. But you don't think about Aaron Judge. It makes it so easy, Mets fans. You make this so easy.
One of the things that, there's something else that we think about is, which to segue away from this, because we gave it enough time. What I think about Donald is what's going to happen with Schmidt coming back tonight. What's the pitching move going to be? Any speculations on that? In the chat, let us know. Who do you think is going to be the move with Schmidt? Is it going to, are they just going to make it because with Stroman on the IL, is it just a clean transaction? Well, somebody's got to come off the roster.
Winans.
Yeah. It's going to be definitely a bullpen guy. I don't think they're going to,
Yeah, Duran's confirms Winans getting DFA'd. So
Winans might have options. They can just option him down. Like they added Winans to the 40-man just recently. I think he's got I think he has options. I'll have to look that up, but I'm pretty sure he does. And he hasn't pitched for us since they called him up, so they can just send him down.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, Stroman, I don't know if they're going to just DFA him just now. The Archdiocese of Ass might get another month or two before we DFA him.
Plus he's on the IL. I don't,
yeah,
it's not an issue right now.
Carrasco saved himself with his last outing.
He had a good outing. It
was fine.
They're saying that Winans does have options. So.
It's a pretty simple move. I would love to get rid of Stroman, but you can't do that when he's on the IL. You can, but you're not going to.
It's bad business to do that.
Had Stroman been healthy, which his pitching doesn't tell you he's healthy, but then it would have been an interesting decision because it's like, do you option Warren down? Do you cut Carrasco? Do you get rid of Yarbrough? Although Yarbrough's been pretty good. So, yeah, the thing, I don't know, Doran, because they might have a spot open. I'm not sure because they just added Winans. No, Winans was already on the 40-man. That's, I think. I'll have to double check. I'm pretty sure Winans was already on the 40-man. But because I was saying he should have made the team out of the spring, but maybe they optioned him and they got to keep him. I have to look through that, but it should be.
Sorry, Rob. What does "it's over" mean here? Send Peraza to the moon. Sign that bride who was released by Marlins.
The Marlins are married. I think he means Jonah Bride.
Yeah,
I know who he's. I think they cut him. Oh man, look that up.
I'm not worried about Peraza.
Why are you hating on Peraza? What's Peraza done to you? It's over. Peraza's been fine. I mean, he sucked last night. I'm not gonna argue, but by and large, he's played very well platooning at third. He's been excellent at third base, and his OPS is over like 760, which is pretty decent.
I mean, you can keep. I would go get Jonah Bride, but I would get rid of Pablo Reyes. That's it.
Yeah,
Jonah Bride is having a terrible start to the year, but last year he did hit 11 homers and 818 OPS and just 230 at bats. I mean, that's got to be better than Pablo Reyes, right? They want a right-handed bat. That's Jonah Bride. I don't want to. What has Peraza done wrong? I mean, our third basemen in general haven't been good. So, you know who has been good? Alex Bregman.
He still has an above average.
Just say it, right?
I mean, prior to obviously yesterday's start, wasn't a good start, but prior to that, he had a 770, 780 OPS. It's now gone down, but his numbers were fine, and he hit a home run, and he was playing good defense.
Yeah. If it came down to Peraza or Reyes, I mean that's a no-brainer. You keep Peraza, and to Peraza's defense, when did the Yankees really give him the faith to get a fair shot?
Never have.
They never exactly.
You're not getting any heat from this Peraza. We're all fans of Peraza.
Maybe like what they did with Grisham. Maybe if they give him a little more playing time and work them in a little more, maybe you'll start to see some of the payoff.
Jared says, any concerns about Oswaldo Cabrera? I think Oswaldo Cabrera is who he is.
Yeah.
I don't see a massive difference between him and Peraza, quite honestly.
They're both good defensively.
Yeah.
None of them really tear the cover off the ball, although I think Peraza might be the better ceiling, but
yeah,
it doesn't change the fact that, again, it was small sample size, but so far our third base options have combined for a 1 homer and 5 ribbies. So
right. Exactly. By the way, that 1 home run came from Peraza. 4 of the RBIs came from Cabrera.
Right.
Cabrera has a 611 OPS, and after yesterday's bad performance by Peraza, it's gone down to 724 for him. Still, there's no argument to say that Peraza is significantly worse than Oswaldo Cabrera. There's no argument that can be said to say that.
Yeah. Again, whatever we're going to get from these third basemen is what we're going to get. That's why I wouldn't mind taking a flyer on Jonah Bride, because get rid of Pablo Reyes at all costs. Cabrera is fine. The biggest F up by Cashman was the season in which Judge broke his toe. Yeah.
Yep.
We know that, Doran. Stevie B says that Roto World put out the information. So, yeah, it's going to be Winans. Thank you, Stevie B. I think I just had a stroke trying to read what Sunil put. What else do we have here? Yeah, I mean, what do you think about Jonah Bride? Let's just say the Yankees made that move. He plays first, second, and third. Would you give him a shot? And if it meant Pablo Reyes is gone?
Oh, for that, that's no-brainer, yeah.
I don't see why not. I like Jonah Bride. That's why when I was kind of surprised when I saw the names. Like, I didn't think they'd get rid of him. But this is the Marlins, so.
Yeah, when players get good, they get out.
I don't know what the hell the Marlins are doing. What does Brazil say? They're a money laundering scheme? I think he's right. But they don't make a lot of money. So they don't make money. So, like, I don't. Yeah, I would give Bride a shot. The dude had an 818 OPS last year, and sometimes the Yankees strike gold with these random names. So it can't get worse.
You're right.
It cannot get worse.
OBP is just under 400, 357. OBP is okay. 767, 270 batting average is good. 818 batting average. 818 OPS is excellent. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. Absolute no-brainer, actually, to be honest.
Then it's always saying that Brian has an 11% K, doesn't strike out much.
Hey.
Great.
Which really fits what the Yankees are trying to do, which is just keep the ball in play. That's every team, but it's not strikeout home run type of mentality this year. So he
bats from the right side, so
really
get another righty bat in there.
Yep. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't give it a shot. It would take playing time away potentially from Cabrera and Peraza, but I've been saying from years ago that Cabrera is a utility player.
Yeah, so if he's better than Cabrera.
I mean, yeah, statistically, at least last year, I would give it a shot. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
If the Marlins can DFA the guy, then the Yankees can at least give him a shot until the inevitable happens and that one-footed bandit returns.
And it's spot on here. Marlins wasted Kim Inge. Kim Inge is an excellent executive. What is she doing now? Can we get her back?
She's a manager for I think they just announced something like recently. She's a manager for some like an Australian league or something.
I don't know. Kidding? She should be in the majors.
I believe me. I wanted her to be the Yankees GM. A couple of years ago we were talking about her, but I had to look that up again because I saw something about her like just this morning. I think that she's manager or GM, but in another league or something. But
no,
are they starting a women's league?
I was just going to say she's now running an organization for the upstart of the Women's Baseball League.
There it is. So she's going to be a big part of that. So
yeah,
happy for her. Good for her. I would rather she is part of the Yankee organization, selfishly, but yeah, the Marlins wasted a lot. Look, I can tell you I've been to several. I probably told this story multiple times. Unless there's a big team here, there's nobody at that stadium. You can sit anywhere you want. Back when they used to play at Pro Player or whatever it's called now, Hard Rock Stadium, 15 people in your section. It was absolute ghost town because the Marlins stink, and they've been riding those 2 championships and the one against us. They still remind me about it. Remember 2003? It's like, you remember the dinosaurs? So, it's just you guys, the Marlins are a joke, and I feel bad for the people in Miami because they love baseball. I can tell you that right now. Again, the World Baseball Classic, Captain America, Aaron Judge, by the way, they'll be here next year, I believe, and I'm going. I'm getting that Judge jersey. I'm getting that hat, and I'm rocking the United States of America in enemy territory because if they're playing like Puerto Rico or the DR, I'm going to be outnumbered. But it's fun, though. No matter what team's playing, you're going to have fun at that World Baseball Classic, which is
USA,
why I feel
baby.
so bad.
USA.
I feel so bad for Miami's fans because they will rock that place if the Marlins were good. They have a good time. I can tell you that right now. But the team doesn't invest, and why would people go if they're not going to watch a good product?
Nope.
Let's finish off talking about Captain America, Uncle T.
No, I think it's something he should be doing. I think it's right to have. Who else would you have as the captain? You're talking about the face, really one of the biggest faces of the sport next to Ohtani. I think Judge and Ohtani are neck and neck on who's really the face of the game. So who wouldn't represent the country as captain? There's no other option.
University, God damn it! If I had $1 for every bad joke you put in this chat, I'd be rich.
That's disgusting.
I'd be richer than Juan Soto.
In fact, I'm gonna ban you just for that. I'm afraid you're putting time out just for that.
Time him out. Put him in the bathroom. You used that joke earlier.
The worst joke in the world.
Unbelievable. Anyway, we got that out of the way.
You don't mess with the United States, baby.
No, not here. You don't. Aaron Judge is the he's the perfect choice, and I can't wait to watch him play the World Baseball. That's gonna be fun, man. I hope it comes down to U.S. and Japan again. If we get a matchup of like Judge versus Sasaki or Ohtani or something like that, that's gonna be theater. That World Baseball Classic last time was fun. Like, what was it? Was it 3-4 years ago? That was a good one, and I expect a lot more of that this time. I'm so happy for him. I'm happy for Team USA, and I'm really looking forward to the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, it's. What about all the nonsense about if with the having to ramp up earlier before spring training, the risk of injury and all that nonsense? Do you think that takes a toll? Goes into the thought process of these players before they agree to do it? I don't think it's really that. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I know in New York, I know the media is still kind of not over the whole situation that happened with Diaz, but it wasn't because of play on the field. It was for a celebration. But it is now you are putting more baseball life on a player throughout the season with the WBC.
I mean, you can get hurt playing basketball. You can get hurt working out. You can get hurt walking down the street. You can wake up and get hurt. Like, anything can happen at any given time. So I actually think this is going to help for Aaron Judge because John's saying, well, hope he doesn't think it's the playoffs. If he performs in the World Baseball Classic, that's about as much of a playoff atmosphere as you can get without it actually being the playoffs. That could help. We need Judge to perform in big moments. So obviously I hope he has a great postseason this year. He needs to because he has to get that monkey off his back. But if he's able to have a good World Baseball Classic, that can tell you he's not immune or he's not like a ghost in the big moments anymore. We need him to perform obviously for us in October, but if he does come through in the World Baseball Classic, it's like when you see the NBA players in the Olympics, when Steph Curry was going absolutely ballistic in the Olympics, you're like, this is insane. So you want to see that, and I think it's going to help Aaron Judge for October. So obviously we need him to do it this year. again, the World Baseball Classic's not till next year,
Yeah.
but I think that'll help him. That's a big moment. I mean, how many times have we seen the clip of Ohtani versus Trout to finish off that World Baseball Classic? That's Game 7 of the World Series right there.
And
it's for
Schmidt
country.
was amazing in that.
I mean, you couldn't have scripted that last game.
Of course. I remember how good Goldschmidt was in that tournament.
Yep.
He didn't get injured that year. He was fine. So there's not much evidence for me that's going to convince me that you're any more likely to get hurt. Plus, it's simple as that. It's an honor to represent your country. It's an absolute honor to represent your country, especially to lead it as a captain. That's an honor, and you gotta take that opportunity. So I think it's great, and it's also great for baseball, because if you want baseball to continue to reach around the globe and have outreach around the globe, then you want the best players playing in the biggest stage of this event. It's as simple as that. That's how you help the game grow. You don't do it by some of these Manfred rules. You help it to grow by these kind of events, and that's what we have. So I'm excited for it. I can't wait for Aaron, and I'm very excited for Aaron Judge too. Captain America, baby, let's go.
Yep, and I think sometimes it's just something blown out of proportion about the playing before the season, or the other narrative I heard that he better not outperform. He better not have the performance that we've been waiting for in October. If he has it in the WBC, the whole narrative is going to be, well, why can't you do it in the postseason? It's like they're grasping at straws against the wrong player. So I think that's also utter bullshit. But we're going to see, good for him. I think it's a great way to promote the sport. I think that, and I was always questioning the timing of it, but I think leading into spring training is realistically the perfect time to do it. So I think that they have a good thing going with this WBC. And, Team America is we're going to be riding that train the whole way, and hope for a really great series. So we'll see how that all plays out. We still got a while to go before that. It's next year. But hopefully tonight we get the return of Schmidt. Hopefully he comes back dealing, and we come back on Friday talking about a sweep. So make sure you do join us Friday, 10 a.m. As always, I'm Uncle Tats with Donald and Rob. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that sub button, share this out, your friends, your family, the strangers on the corner, and always wear those pinstripes of pride and play hard.